Welcome to the Tuckcast with a splash of bourbon, presented by Tuckasegee Fly Shop, with locations in Bryson City and Sylva, North Carolina. Be sure to follow the crew on Facebook at Tuckasegee Fly Shop, Instagram at Tuck Fly Shop, and YouTube at Tuckasegee Fly Shop for the latest information and instructional videos. Be sure to visit tuckflyshop.com for all things fly fishing in Western North Carolina and beyond. Remember, the online store is always open. Here in our Sylva studios today, we have Coach Dale Diesel Collins, Bobby, the Bearded Wonder Bennett, and I'm your host, Shannon Big Mess Messer. Thanks for listening to the Tuckcast with a splash of bourbon, and let's get into today's crazy episode and see what kind of shenanigans the crew gets into.
Yeah.
All right.
Y'all remember back when Super Bowl commercials were good?
Yes.
Was that? Yeah. No, that wasn't that great.
I mean, that was back then. It didn't say it was great,
Right.
but it was back then.
Yeah. Is your mic on?
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. That's better.
With that.
That's much better. Thank you. Yeah, the Bartles and James commercials are pretty good. And then you had the Budweiser frogs.
Yeah.
Budweiser.
That was better than Budweiser frogs.
Remember Spuds McKenzie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's Championship Day.
Championship Day. Yes.
Is that the reason we're
Speaking
talking
of
about
Super Bowl,
Man, I tell you.
Championship Day?
Cleveland Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
I tell you. Woo, Lordy.
It's going to be Cleveland Browns and Washington Redskins.
Not the who?
The football team.
The football team.
What was it? What's that band? The Band. There was a group called The Band.
Sure. Shannon doesn't know it. It
Shannon,
didn't
come on.
exist.
The band?
If Shannon
I
doesn't
don't know the
that,
band. I'm just thinking here, man. The band?
Dale's Googling it.
I don't know the band.
Google it up. So today we got Payday versus Snickers.
That's right.
Final round. Everybody's probably like, yay, this is finally over.
I know. And we had big lunches today too.
I did, yeah.
Oh, it's a
fairly
little
full.
still.
Hey,
a
we're
little
going to try
full.
that chocolate Payday? Or is that just for you?
No, it's not just for me. I can't.
Did
eat
you
all
bring it
that.
over here?
That's right here.
Oh,
You
well,
know,
let's try that
this right
bad
here.
boy.
We got the chocolate payday. I just happened to see as we was going through the line the other day, and since the Candy Bar Shootout, I've been looking at candy bars lately.
That's
so
right. Brings it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll
The
try.
Band.
Mm-hmm.
1967.
That was a little bit before me.
So, yes, the reason you don't know it's
The band.
pre-70. Shannon doesn't know it.
Yeah, the band.
I mean, he's got 50 years of music in that head.
We may not be able to do that. We may get called out.
Yeah.
That's
you
called The Wait.
may not want to play that.
I'm not playing anything.
Oh, that's just happening.
Oh.
Now you know.
They use that in. They've used that song in several different commercials. Actually, it's been used in a couple of different product commercials out there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The
absolutely.
Band.
We give all rights and stuff to them there.
That's right.
We yeah, absolutely. All glory and stuff to the band for that montage. So keep us out of legal trouble.
So,
Yeah,
today's episode, we got the champion. A few things.
yeah.
We're going to do the championship round.
Right.
We've also got Shannon. We've got a pre-recorded episode of Shannon going through all the water data for the Tuckasegee
It's like
area.
Shannon's monologue.
Yeah, 25 minutes.
Like
of
they
it that
do on
we'll
the
play later.
news shows.
That's right.
Like the pundits.
And with that, obviously, you folks are getting windshield time. What we would love for you to do, go ahead and listen to this. And then when you get to your final resting destination, pull out your device, go to YouTube, watch that episode of the video
It'll make
we
more
record
sense
it.
when you're watching it.
it
'cause
will
we've
make-
actually got the computer
Yes.
screen recorded.
You'll see what as I'm pointing out on there, but some really good information. And it's we told you we would bring that video out. We had a chance to record it yesterday, and we're going to
We need to
incorporate
chop
this
that
in
up
today.
and
So
put it on the page that we find all that data on the website. Like how to make
Sure.
a quick little video on how to find the correct stream flow.
gotcha. So
Is 25 minutes quick?
No,
Okay, we
About
got to do something different.
30
But,
seconds.
But certainly do that. I'm sure we'll get to a fishing port here toward the end of the podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe. I think next week we'll pull a
the
winner
winner.
for the Sims Freestone Packs. You still have one more week to get into that as well.
Probably next Wednesday it'll get pulled.
Pull a winner, not a growing.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, next
Which
Wednesday or
that's-
so.
What would that be? 15th, 16th?
Something like
that?
that.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So we are still open. The shop is open right now. So if you hear something in the background or somebody gets up to answer the phone, we are here to do business. So that's currently what's happening. Also, but I think other than that, that's kind of what the lay of the land's going to be there. But football is wonky. I know Bobby would come in today wearing his Washington Washington.
team.
Nah, it wasn't a football team. That's Washington Redskin hoodie, man.
I've had that thing since I was like 20. I just never
Is
wear
it really? I know it is
I mean,
Reebok. I understand.
did you see the
it.
Reebok
It's a
on the sleeve?
Reebok logo.
I mean, there's not been a lot of reasons to wear it.
They're still calling them. The thing that was frustrating yesterday, after we closed and I got home, I was trying to pull the game up and I couldn't get
so
it
mad.
anywhere. Regardless of who was playing, it was just a game, right?
Mhm.
Why couldn't they put a game out there for us to watch? Definitely with everything that's going on out there. But it was an interesting week of football in the NFL. Of course, my Cowboys play tonight. They'll probably lose. But the NFC East this week so far, you've had the Giants go to Seattle and beat the Seahawks, and then you look yesterday, the football team of Washington under head coach Ron Rivera go into Heinz Field and beat the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. Now I know Pittsburgh's played 2 games in less than a week. I get it. It is 2020. However, in the NFL, you're a professional. You're there because you can play, and but nonetheless, it's a loss. The 72 Dolphins, I'm sure, were toasting that yesterday. Of course, is their tradition.
I mean, is it any different than playing a Monday night game and then playing Sunday?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just different.
It's just different days.
I don't know how many players are missing, but everybody's missing players.
Yeah.
Injuries. My Cowboys are much maligned with injuries, but boy, the shocker with the Browns.
How's it feel to be Jameis Winston? Like, you're number 2, now you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now you're not. We
Now
put the
you're
other
not.
guy in.
We're going to put a wide receiver in front of
He's still number 2.
Yeah.
He's still number 2. He's still number 2. That's right.
Number 4 goes number 1. He's still number 2.
He's still number 2.
Sorry, I didn't
But
mean
he's
to
getting
interrupt you
paid.
there.
But he's getting paid, right?
That's right, he is.
I mean, he's
paid
getting
like
paid.
a starter.
Paid. And in the
All you
news,
can eat crab legs.
in the news in the North Pole is that Santa Claus has changed Blitzen's name to to the coaches up there at the New York Jets. What's his name? I go blank on his
I
name.
can't remember his name either.
Blitzen is now Greg Williams. On Dasher, on
Oh, yeah,
Dancer,
yeah,
no
yeah.
Comet, no Cupid. On Greg
He
Williams.
sent everybody.
He did. He
Did you
sent
see that?
everybody.
So
Yeah.
the defensive coordinator, last play of the game, it's Hail Mary basically. Well, not quite a Hail Mary. He blitzed everybody.
How'd that work out?
And the Raiders threw over it and touchdown,
Not
won the game.
too good.
He got fired.
Shocker.
Yeah,
Next
he was
day,
fired.
Gone.
Do you think that was like that had to be like
I think it was on
They
purpose.
said it was.
lapse.
They kind of said it was on purpose. It was to
Everybody-
spite the head coach.
he knew he was getting
Him
canned?
and the head coach have been.
button heads.
I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah. So Blitzen's now is Greg Williams
Yep.
because he's
The
blitzing.
imaginary, as Coach Brown called it, your coaching license gets revoked with stuff like that.
Does anybody know a Jets fan at all?
Yeah, Casey.
Casey's a Jets
Casey
fan?
is a Jets fan. man.
Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Is it because of
Look, Casey's from Jersey.
Ryan Fitzpatrick? So no connection there.
Yeah. But no, he is, and he
Yeah,
laughs.
is from Jersey.
He laughs. He goes, "I'm a Jets fan," and he
Oh,
giggles.
yeah.
I mean, he knows. I mean, he knows it's not.
Man.
But
I even
yeah,
forget
is
they're
anybody a
in the
Cowboys fan? I mean, I'm like, yeah. Somebody send me a Browns hat for Pete's sakes. I'm ready to jump ship.
It's like
This is
the
awful
Panthers
this
suck.
year.
Nobody cares.
Well, if Bridgewater could hit an open receiver in the
I've
end
been
zone,
saying all year he's terrible. Shannon, no, he's good.
no,
he's
I
terrible.
didn't say he wasn't. I
He's
said
your
the
team.
coach. The coach, man.
No, the coach. It ain't the coach.
Exactly. And you were off on the coach at the start, and I'm like, no. But they should have
Well, we'll
beat
see.
Minnesota.
Next year he might win the Super
Well,
Bowl.
I will say that coach had everything to do with Cam leaving. And Cam and the Patriots hung 45 on the Chargers. The Chargers didn't even
It's
show
the
up.
Chargers.
I don't care.
It's
It's
the Chargers.
45 points in the National Football League.
I don't want Cam. I
The
don't-
Browns
can't.
put up 41.
Nah, can't. No. But anyway,
Oh, well.
college football playoffs are coming.
Yeah.
College football's coming. College football's coming.
Man, the phone's ringing again.
Championship.
Hurry back, Dale. We're about to do some candy
We're
bars.
about to
I'm
do
gonna
some
start
candy.
cutting.
So Bobby's going to start cutting some candy bars here, and certainly want to thank everybody for their input, stuff like that that's been happening there. As we get into this, the holiday seasons here, where folks are coming in and they're purchasing gift cards and calling and getting gift cards, and so if you're looking for something out there for that particular fly fisherman or fly fisher lady, because there's a lot of ladies that fly fish too. Certainly hit us up. We got some great deals up there on our website, and if there's something you're looking for that's not there, be sure to give us a call. 1-828-488-3333. We've sent out, there's some things going out of here. There's some packages being sent out.
Yeah, a
Don't
couple.
want to.
Man, I went to the post office yesterday.
Yeah.
To ship those couple packages we had.
Yeah. Mhm.
And them guys, poor guys in the back, man, they have boxes everywhere.
I can
And
imagine.
that people were there to pick up boxes, and they were like, they were apologizing. They were like, y'all don't understand. We can barely walk in the back, like trying to find your box.
Oh, wow.
And so, like, the line was forever long. It
Sure.
took a while. But, hey, man, shout out to all the delivery people. Postal, UPS, FedEx. Man, it's one of those years where it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. We'll just have to deal with it.
Well, I just think, this year a lot of people doing a lot more online shopping anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to avoid getting out.
Yeah.
So it is it is a different time for sure. But we do have to really put a huge shout out to those folks. I mean, just getting product to us here at the shop.
Yeah.
Delivering all those boxes. Sometimes those preseason orders, and my gosh, their hand trucks have to make a couple of trips. It's loaded down. It's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It is.
A lot of stuff. We really appreciate them. Shout out to those workers behind the scenes that get this product to us. We really appreciate that for sure. But yeah,
Dale's selling something on the phone.
that's cool.
This is live action.
This is live action, folks.
I should turn his camera towards him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
looking at the
booking a trip. Oh, that's what we're talking about there. Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and get the payday cut.
So let's go ahead and get the payday cut there. So a lot of comments coming in from Idaho. Brian Davenport out there in Idaho has been commenting here. We've had Andrew we've had Andrew commenting here. We've had Zachary commenting.
We haven't heard from, who was the guy from Italy? We haven't heard
Yeah,
from him.
Guido. Guido, man. I hope you're still doing okay, man. We haven't heard from Guido in a while. Hope he's doing okay. No, seriously. I mean, we hadn't heard from Guido, and hope he's doing all right. And here toward the end, we're going to kind of talk about a special event. We're going to have a Norvice boot camp as well coming up in February.
Do you want to do it now or towards the end?
Let's do it when Dale's here, because I'll screw something up here real quick. But anyway, I'll plant the seed. In February, and it's the weekend after Valentine's Day,
21st or something like that.
Something like that.
20th,
Yeah. So we're going to have a 2-day event down here at the Best Western River Escapes down in Dillsboro, and we are going to have a Norvice boot camp. So you're going to have the owner Tim O'Neill, Tyler O'Neill will be here as well. Myself and I believe Braden Miller potentially will be here. So we have 4 Norvice ambassadors, 1 owner of the company. And we're going to do a boot camp just because of the popularity of the demo day we did here at the shop. And you can do this, which is really neat. So you're looking at lodging. You're looking at getting a Norvice fly tying system, which would be a base, your standard vise and your bobbin kit, as well as lodging in there and food, and in 2 days of instruction as well. So it's limited to 6 slots also. So you'll get like your own individual area, obviously because of social distancing.
Yep.
You'll have one person demonstrating, and then the others will be out helping, but we'll go through everything as far as basically, the vise setup, breaking the vise down, like the inside components of the vise, all the way up to you'll get nymphs, you'll get dry flies, you'll get streamers, just a whole plethora of thing in there. So it's really going to be real intense and a lot of knowledge. I think it's a really good value for the price that we're getting out of this here. And certainly you can give us a call at 1-828-488-3333. We can discuss that in details. So if you already have a fly tying system, we can look at it differently, the pricing on that a little bit differently. If you live in the area, we can look at that differently, of course, as well. We'll adjust the price for that. But a lot of those flyers have already been sent on the social media platforms as well, and things like that. But just to let you know, man, we do have some consumers here in the shop, so I'm going to fly solo for a minute. We got man, was that Andrew Dean over there? Man, we got Andrew Dean right here in the shop over here. One of our good customers at Tuck Fly Shop there, good supporters. Man, I tell you. Andrew don't want to get on the podcast. He's incognito right now. That's not Andrew. If he's supposed to be at work, he's not here. I don't know who that is. That's Daryl Bigfoot. That's Daryl. What's up, Daryl? Don't want to get him in trouble. I didn't say that. Oh.
Still waiting on Dale.
So want some Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, you might have to tie some, Shannon.
The Rainbow Warriors? Them things don't work. What are you talking about?
Get him a few.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
I'm about to start eating candy bars.
Yeah, man. It's funny once you cut them up. We talk about eating at lunch, and then it's like, man, it does look pretty good, doesn't
It
it?
smell good.
Mm.
It smell good.
What do you think, man?
I mean, I already know which one I'm probably going to vote for.
I think
I don't wanna
I'm
tell.
still I'm still, you know, I don't want to say undecided, but it's
Yeah.
not like I'm going into the election knowing who I'm voting for. But
Yeah,
this one's a little bit different because I can go either way,
absolutely.
no doubt, man, no doubt. Yeah. Other thing too. Yesterday we had a chance to get a lot of recordings done in the shop. So not only will there be the video up about the understanding the streamflow data, the Duke website as well. We did some stuff on product yesterday. We did some things there. So look for that coming out there in our product reviews and stuff like that. Virtual guide series type
Yeah,
stuff
should be
on
fun.
YouTube will be coming out as well. And if there's something that you want us to do, once again, just drop us a line. Let us know. And we-
Yeah, if anybody needs a video or how to or something, we'd do our best to make it work.
that's all we
so-
can do, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, we're missing the Candy Man today.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll mention anything to John. I didn't even think about it. He was in here earlier, and I didn't even think to mention
Yeah,
what was going on there.
yeah, no
So,
doubt.
yeah, hey, where's John at?
Sorry, John, the Candy Man.
That's all right, man. Dale's running around.
Daryl might have to be the tiebreaker over here. No, there won't be a tie because there's three of us.
That's right.
It
Gotta
depends
count
on if it's the Dominion machine.
I
it
might not
be.
vote.
Oh,
I'm going to abstain.
You might vote and it might not happen, right? Who knows, right? Beats all I've ever seen.
So, did you watch the any of the college football this weekend?
I watched some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little concerned about my Tigers at first.
Yeah.
They started off
they
slow.
Didn't play very
They
well.
didn't. They started off slow, and Lawrence didn't look good. Maybe that's on purpose, man.
So
Maybe he don't want to
Notre
be.
Dame and Clemson.
Maybe he
in
don't
like
want
a
to be.
week and a half. Who's got it?
Yeah. My concern right now with Clemson is the defense.
Yeah.
They're missing some players on defense. They're hurt. I look right now. The quarterback at Notre Dame is a ball player.
Yeah.
He's a winner. The kid's a winner.
Well, he's got
And
the most wins, right?
he actually has in the
He
history.
passed everybody.
He did. He really did, and that's really a huge compliment because
Yeah.
there's been a lot of good quarterbacks come through that.
Think of Joe
Joe
Montana.
and Joe Theismann as well.
Did he go there?
I think Joe Theismann went there potentially. Yeah, there's been a lot of good quarterbacks go through that system there as well. And
Well, what's crazy, I didn't realize Brady Quinn was number one. He beat Brady
yeah,
Quinn. for most of
Brady
it.
Quinn.
I didn't know that.
Brady Quinn was a big, he was like.
Yeah, he never looked as big as I guess.
But
he
when you
really
seen him,
was.
you're like, dude, that kid and
Yeah.
his arm, he almost looked like he's been playing linebacker. And he
I'm
had some
excited
big
for
arm.
that game though.
What about though? To me, was the Coastal Carolina BYU as
Coastal
they marketed as
Conway, South Carolina. Shout out.
They marketed as the Mormons versus the Mullets, and the Mullets won. But it was a great. It came down to the final play.
It did. Yeah.
It came down to the final play. The play was executed on offense, and the defense executed by keeping them out of the end zone. It's almost like the Titans and the Rams. As soon as it happened, the first thing that popped into my mind was that game right there with Eddie George and them, in the Super Bowl against the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
But yeah, Coastal Carolina is up there, and then
Y'all
you
ain't
have
got this done yet.
You making it rain over there?
Dude, I've been here 30 minutes and done more business than y'all done all day.
Appreciate you.
that's it. We
Glad I could.
Hey,
we had to wait
hey,
for
I'm
the
a-
A team.
I'll
That's
make
it.
sure to
We
run
had-
your payroll.
We
tomorrow.
had to
Yes.
wait. We had to wait for the A team, baby. What I mean, seriously.
We couldn't do this without you.
We had to wait for the A team, dude.
Got to put this trip in the calendar.
Yeah, but I'm super excited for that game next week.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Me
I wish
too.
I would have watched the BYU game and Coastal. Though. That would have been.
Was that
Yeah.
the Mormons versus the Mullets?
Yeah.
That's what we were just
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
That's
and
crazy that they said that.
oh,
I did we can't call it the Redskins, but you can call it the Mormons versus Mullets.
yeah,
and
it,
the Mullets won.
and they were already so ESPN Game Day was already coming to Conway anyway because it was going to be Liberty
yeah, Liberty
and
both
Coastal, two
undefeated.
You know
undefeated,
it's
both-
COVID when that's going on.
and so
But
that
they're
didn't
both
happen.
in the top 20, right? Top
Oh
15?
man, I mean, no, they're So now I think
Coastal's
what's
now number
Coastal
11.
11.
Listen, you play 11 games, you're gonna be ranked.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Well, this weekend you got Carolina and Miami and Clemson. If Clemson would have lost to Voltech, potentially they would have been out of the championship game because they're taking the top 2 teams in the conference this
Yeah.
year. Of course, Notre Dame jumps in 1 year for football just so they can be eligible to play.
Well, so have you heard the
playoff.
big issue here with Ohio State is they hadn't played a full schedule.
Well, so apparently,
you
like
get
if-
in the Final Four if you hadn't played the same games. as
it's right.
everybody else.
There is a break point where you have to
I'm gonna
play
have to go, boys.
X amount of games, so it just doesn't work.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Let's taste these candy bars real quick. We got to pick them.
All right.
I tried to get Andrew to hop on here. Dale's already got his
so
Snickers.
Dale's grabbing a Snickers. All right, so we're gonna jump in here to the. I didn't get to get my boxing match analogy in there, but it's championship round.
That's all right.
Doesn't that bring you like a Rocky?
We got a vote for payday from a customer.
We got a payday vote here.
Y'all need something back here?
So what?
I need a payday.
Oh, so what are we? Which one are we tasting now? Either one?
I just did the Snickers.
Let me get a Snickers there right quick. It's cut up, man. If it's all right,
You want one right here? Take a piece of that. There
Yeah.
we go.
all right. Let's see.
Y'all can help us figure this out.
You can help.
You like payday or Snickers better? Yeah, taste the payday after Snickers. Get the peanut one here. You're not allergic to peanuts, are you, by the way?
Ma'am, this is the point here where we find out that our special guest taste tester is allergic to peanuts.
Yeah, after we just gave him a piece. That
Go
would
into
not go
anaphylactic
well.
shock, and we have no EpiPens for Pete's sake.
All right, I'm going for the payday now. You already taste both, Dale? Yeah.
That's Dale, man. We know how Dale eats.
I think I need another taste, though.
All right, now for the payday. I'm glad this is ending. I've eaten so much candy.
Mm-hmm, good. Good for you.
I like the mounds.
Mounds for the win. You got a vote here while we're waiting. What's your vote?
I'm gonna go with the payday
Over the Snickers.
over the Snickers because the Snickers is a little too sweet. But if I want the sweet, I can just get that chocolate payday. I can't get Snickers without chocolate.
Oh, yeah, we got to try the chocolate payday before we all.
So just saying.
Man, this is tough.
Well, I have to go with the Snickers.
Oh, Brad, Bobby's the tiebreaker.
So,
That's what I like to hear.
so the reason being, you know, the payday's got a lot of peanuts in it. It's got the salt, things like that. But for me, I have to have the chocolate.
You need the chocolate.
I need to have the chocolate. So learning that obviously there's a chocolate payday, we've learned a lot this couple of weeks about candy bars. That's multiple duty factor. Right
Hey, Dale,
this is the best one so far.
what's the pull factor?
That's pretty. That's up there.
Hold that up to the camera.
That one's
That's
up there
the-
pretty good.
It's the chocolate payday.
duty factor.
Yeah, some people have commented they'll never look at a Twix bar the same way after your description, Dale.
I won't eat it.
I can't.
The translucency of the white chocolate.
Now that's a total different looking right there. Totally different when you cut it.
That looks
Wow.
like a Snickers.
It's
We
interesting.
might have peanut butter in it. Chocolate. No, it just says covered peanut caramel bar. I have an idea for my final vote.
That's way better than anything we've tasted.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Mm.
I think I like the original better, but
Well, I need to have the chocolate.
it's good. Chocolate
I
payday
have to
is,
have the
is on
chocolate.
point. Man, I feel this must be what Trump feels like. I feel that power. I get the deciding vote.
Well, at this point, it's a matter of opinion, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, out of all the choices, I think we kind of narrowed it down to the best two that we had at the time. The wild card last week was that Nutrageous, which was really good.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, when I found the chocolate payday, I could not find an Nutrageous.
Yeah.
So if you start to look, hey,
Shell Station's got 'em.
What would you find? then that does become
Well,
a factor.
that's the thing. Is like any store you walk into, there's probably gonna be a payday and a
It's
Snickers.
a Snickers.
It's
Absolutely.
very rare that you won't be able to find
I
unless
think
they're just sold out.
So I think you can find payday Snickers, a Hershey's bar, a Reese cup. Those are like some of your core stuff, and then and Twix, and you start building off that. But I got to tell you, I'm impressed with the chocolate payday, probably more so than the original payday. I think the chocolate kind of softens the saltiness of the bar itself. Do you kind of get that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not as sold on the chocolate part, but yeah.
Really? See, I am.
All right, last one. I'm eating 2 of each just to make sure
Yeah.
that I make the final call right.
And it's chocolate. I think it smells a little different than the Snickers chocolate,
It probably is.
but it's good. And if you look in there, and I'm showing you this, and a few folks that are not driving are seeing this here.
If you're jar driving, you're same on you.
It doesn't seem like, at least on this one here, it has as many peanuts.
All right. Final decision. Are we ready? You got your sound effect? I'm sure you got something.
Dude, I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. So
Payday.
no.
I'm going payday.
Well, I don't think you can go wrong either way. I think it
Payday
just really
is the
boils
champion.
down. It does boil down to a taste preference, something like that.
Just because we have to do it proper, you got to go move it on the board.
That's right, I do. But the one thing to keep in mind, though, that we have to understand, let's say that we are providing these on a trip for someone understanding, this is why we ask, is there any food allergies?
Oh, yeah, peanuts.
Because a lot of people are allergic to peanuts, some peanut butter, things like this. So this would definitely raise a red flag there for sure. So
hopefully when they peeled this open and saw that payday, they'd be like, how about not
probably shouldn't have that, of course, there. But anyway, so payday. I don't think we're surprised at that one there at all. I don't think that's an
The only thing
upset.
that tipped it, because I feel like I love both of them from
Yeah.
tasting,
Mhm.
it's the melt factor. That's the only thing that tipped the scale towards payday.
And I get you guys on that too, but I think that I could get past. I think it would hold up a little bit better than we give it credit for.
Oh, I think it would too. It'd probably
Yeah.
be fine.
I think it depends on where we carry it on our body, whether it's in a pack in the back or something. And
but
it's
we're
a
not
valid
just
point.
mountain fishing.
It's a
lot of
valid
people
point.
are down on the coast
Sure.
doing this. So
That's what coolers are for.
that's true. It's true. Move it, Shannon. Let me move it over. Oh, baby. Everybody gets to see Shannon's best side while we do this. Payday 1. Got to yell to the customers. Let them know who's winning.
Payday.
All right.
But
You feel worn out, Dale? Man, Dale's.
That's crushing it.
It's tough to do a podcast when the shop's open, but sometimes that's just what we do.
Man, I tell you, I think we have to record during business hours more often.
It's
Man,
like- it's how it is in
light
the
switch
shop.
flip.
Well, it's like
We-
when we start recording videos here at the shop.
Anytime you get
Or eat
busy,
lunch.
people start coming in. Like these guys are about to come in. Watch. Nope. Maybe. Nope.
Oh man.
All right. Let's get back.
The comments coming in, I think you could really tell your front runners were going to be payday Snickers, the Hershey's almond. There was a few on the zero kick. No. I'm sorry.
Everybody, hey,
sorry,
there's a
Scott.
Cinderella in every tournament.
There
man.
is a Cinderella, Absolutely. And before I forget, man,
Do you all want this chocolate peanut log?
dude, it's good.
Shannon said the duty factor on that one's pretty high.
It's pretty high.
It
up there.
is.
It is.
At least it doesn't look like a sex toy.
But it's
I couldn't say that a minute ago with that little kid in here. Doug said,
oh boy, here we
"There's
go.
asterisks written all over this."
Boy, I tell you now, it's about to pick up, man. I just want to give a shout out, man. Brandon Rainey up in Kentucky just turned 50. Happy 50th birthday, Brandon Rainey. Anybody
That
up
is
there?
Is that your silver birthday? Is that what they call that?
I don't know.
I look silver.
I just hope I make it to it.
Silver dollar.
So happy birthday, Brandon.
Somebody will let us know.
Absolutely. So what do you think, Dale?
You like the chocolate payday?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, it's like everything you need.
think so. I think it's really it covers the bases. If you want that chocolate with the peanut, You do have the saltiness in there. To me, it wasn't as salty as the payday, standard payday.
Mm-hmm.
We call it the standard payday. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Different peanut.
I wonder. I mean, could it be?
No.
Who knows?
Oh.
Well-
You think they went with a lower quality peanut because you can't see it?
Do you think there's a difference?
Here we go. I mean, yeah. Uh-oh.
So in a peanut,
All right.
there's normally like 3 peanuts in a shell, right?
2 or 3.
Which one of the 3 tastes better?
Oh.
The last one I just ate. The one I'm eating. I mean,
Sometimes
they're
obviously they come out of the dirt, but
right.
which one grew first? Which one's had more time to age? Like they're not going to be all 3 the same.
How does that work with like a bean? Like there's like a long bean, every one of those little beans
right.
inside it.
Man, is there a horticulturist out there that can just educate us?
I'm not. Don't ask me a question about plants.
I mean, there's somebody.
Speaking of horticulture, I sold my GX to a horticulturist
Oh,
moving to California.
yes.
Mm.
And
They realize they can't have that V8 like next year, right?
Well, it's grandfathered. I'm sure.
oh my gosh.
But
I don't know.
what do you think he's going to grow?
His business.
Yes, that's a great answer, Shannon. It's business.
His business.
Kids getting the GX. We're leaving Asheville, going to California.
The great thing is none of my business how he grows his business.
That's it.
Oh man.
America.
Horticulturalist.
Well, did you went over? I was listening partly because I was cutting candy bars, but you went over the whole.
Kind of went over
Norvise
the
thing, right?
Norvise boot camp
Oh,
coming
man, I'm
up.
excited about
Yeah,
it.
so good man.
I put
roll,
in the,
roll with
I
it,
put in the
man.
blog that
Roll with it.
kind of getting into the Norvise thing is kind of intimidating. Like
Agreed.
it is. I compared it to learning a language. All right, so I've learned to tie flies with one language. Okay, we'll call it English. Okay,
Yeah, I think it's fair.
then Norvise comes in, and it's like one of these romance languages.
Je ne sais pas.
So yeah, I mean, so it's like, oh man, that is, sexy, right? But I don't know how to say it.
Merci beaucoup.
Oui, bon. Okay, that's about all I know. So the best way to learn a language is to immerse yourself in it.
Yeah.
And so that's what the weekend's about, is just being immersed in the Norvise realm with the experts there. So I mean, how many times do you get to buy something new and have the people that made it there to help you
Figure it all out.
figure it out? Yeah. I mean, you don't even get that with Tesla.
Yeah.
You buy a Tesla, you better read the book.
I don't know. They might have something fancy.
A video.
I bet there's no book in that car. Yeah, it's more technical than that.
But I'm saying, so
Yeah. No, it's a great
it's
point.
a total immersion for the weekend. And, 10 hours, that's going to be the low end. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one that goes beyond what the itinerary says for instruction. So and that's actually breaking news to me. I didn't know we were going to have four.
Yeah, I think that,
instructors there.
yeah, if you look at the flyer that Tim did,
Yeah.
if it's gone out yet in the email, I knew Tim and Tyler, myself, but it sounds like Braden's coming, so you're going to have. But even
You
if you
wanna tie a
have,
streamer.
but even if you have three, still you're above and beyond,
Mhm.
because I've done these classes before where you're up there in your time, but you've got to get up and go to this person, and then you got to go to this person,
Yeah.
and you're going to have one person doing this.
It's like a third grade craft class.
And then you're going to have the other. So if you look at the ratios, no more than 6 people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have, let's say you have 3, so that's 2 assisting out there. But then let's say we got that third person, which is number 4, but we got 3 out there. I mean, that's really good numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking at meeting all and exceeding social distance guidelines,
That's
too,
right.
by the way, and that's important as well. So, and then you look at what it includes. But to me,
Well, they're all Riverside rooms.
they're all Riverside rooms, but
How
you
cool is that?
can't. I think you got to get past the number and look at the total value in this,
Oh yeah.
because you'll forget about that number with the knowledge that's gained, and it just accelerates you to a whole nother level.
Yeah,
man.
because you're getting lodging, food,
That guy that was just in
instruction,
here,
device, everything. Yeah.
Anthony. He said he's loving it.
He
it's-
has one.
He has one. It's
Yeah.
coming to him faster and faster, and he
Yeah.
said he's really starting to crank some
Yeah,
flies.
yeah.
out.
He bought one from us there.
That's
and,
awesome, man.
absolutely. So it
Sweet.
does take time. I totally agree with Dale.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. It is like learning.
It's
a whole
learning
new-
another language, and
It's a
you just
great
got to
analogy.
immerse yourself in it.
Great analogy too, by the way. So,
Yeah.
I think are we about ready to?
Let's jump into this video.
Kind of jumping in this video here, see if we can do this without.
Tell them what it is again.
So the video we're going to be doing here for you, you'll hear me, and then we'll come back and finish this up. This is going to be the explanation of understanding how to read the streamflow data on the USGS site, plus myself going over the Duke Energy website with flow releases, the secret hidden messages about lake levels and things that Duke's doing, and then also hitting on briefly the Cedar Cliff project and what is going on and how long it takes. So what's that?
Who are we hitting on?
I was hitting on the Duke.
Oh, yeah, I heard you say we're hitting on.
I did. I hit on that. I'm not hitting on nobody. I'm married. 20 years coming up, man.
That's awesome.
The big 2-0's coming up, man. So a lot of milestones there. So we're going to switch to that, and you'll get that coming in there for sure. So I think that we're about ready to do that, Bobby.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Hey everybody, Big Mess coming to you here from our Silva shop, 530 West Main Street, Silva. And I'm actually standing in front of our iMac, and I'm going to go over a few things with you here in a moment. We talked about on our podcast doing a video trying to educate a little bit about stream flows, USGS, Duke website, and things that we look at on a daily basis. So that way you see what we're looking at, and when we're describing that information to you, you have a much, much better understanding. Then you can make an informed decision on whether the flows are right for you to come and fish, whether you're wading or floating, because it's a lot of information. Right here behind me, you should see our board that we keep in the shop, and it's basically a small selection of some of the creeks and stuff in the area. We can't put them all up there, but these are ones that we commonly get asked questions about. And we take the data off what I'm going to show you here, and we put on this particular board. And Dale or Bobby or myself, we try to get this posted at least Monday through Friday up on our social media platform, I think on the stories, so like on Facebook and Instagram. We put that information up early in the morning there for you so you can quickly take a look at it. But let's say that you don't have access to that and you're trying to do some research on your own and you go to the computer. What we're going to do is I'm going to be you, and we're going to dive into the computer screen here momentarily, and you'll be able to see the screen and see what we're looking at. Okay? So once we get here to our computer screen, as Bobby's switching that over, this here is the USGS current conditions for North Carolina. So what we do is I type in NC streamflow data, which brings us up to this particular screen. Now, when it comes up, you're going to have a lot of the watersheds in North Carolina, but we want to scroll down toward the bottom, and this is going to get us into that Tuckasegee area down here that we're looking for. So one of the most common questions we get asked is, what is the CFS here on the Tuckasegee River? So the first one that we look at is the Tuckasegee River at State Road 1172, which is near Cullowhee. If you look here, it was updated at a quarter after the hour. The last update was at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. And this number right here, 741, that is the cubic feet per second flow of that particular river at that gauge at this time. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into that here momentarily, and we'll describe that to you. But I want to come over to the far left, and I'm going to click on this blue tab right here. And when I do that, it's going to take me to another screen. Here, you're going to see some information that's available for this particular site at this gauge itself. One is going to be your discharge. There's a little graph right here, or a box matrix, which tells you what the information is. So here, if we look, the most instantaneous recent value was at 741. If we look to the far right, back in the history of this right here, the highest flow recorded was in 2012 was 892. But if you look to the left, you kind of see what your average would be. So we are above average for this time of year for this particular flow. Down below that, you do see your gauge height. The gauge is if you have a tape measure per se, and you are measuring as the water comes up, that's what it's doing. You can see how it dropped down a little below 4.5 feet here, and now it's risen up nearly to 6 feet. So you can see how much we gained, not quite 2 feet of height as far as the depth of the water right there, but that's because of Duke Energy releasing water. So in this particular gauge here, this is what we're looking at. Now, we do have a saying for the Tuckasegee that east is the beast and the west is the best. Your East Fork flow, when Duke releases water, is usually around 500 cubic feet per second. West Fork is usually around 225. You combine both those together, and it's going to be quite a bit more water. At 741 CFS, there are a few places above the island on South River Road that would be wadeable, but you really, really need to know that stream bed really well. You need to use a wading staff, and you have to exercise caution, of course. We're probably not going to take you out there at that flow, but we would float it at that flow. That's no problem. So let's take a look at the gauge on Birdtown, the Econo-Lefty gauge. Currently, it's flowing at 587. We just recently received over an inch of rain. So I'm going to come here to this particular gauge because it shows us quite a bit more information. So once again, I'm going to come to the hyperlink tab over here beside the Econo-Lefty. Click on that. It's going to take me to another site. And if you look in this particular area here, it gives us quite a bit more parameters that we can look at on this particular site. First of them is going to be water temperature. I do like to know what water temperature is doing because it does help me understand what the fish may be doing, how they could be reacting. The other thing that this site has, it also has dissolved oxygen. It has pH levels. It has turbidity. Turbidity would be the fact that you're looking at, how dirty is the water. Just remind you folks, the shop is open as I'm going through this here, so you may hear some people talking in the background. But if you look through here, I'm going to go over here and hit go, and it's going to pull up these other parameters for us. The first thing you've seen, I selected the water temperature, and that's going to be my first graph. So currently you can see the water is actually risen a little bit this morning, the water temp rather. So we're not quite 44. We're getting close to that 44 degree temperature range. So that, kind of tells me what I need to be expecting as far as the reaction of the trout out there today. You can see the dips that we had back here on November 30th. You can see we were close to 50, and then by the 2nd of December, we dropped down a little below 37 degrees right through there. So you can see how those nighttime temperatures really affected that. The other thing that we're looking at here is we look at the discharge. This is Mother Nature. There's no dam up here where this particular gauge is. This is stuff coming out of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, such as your Econo-Lefty, Bradley Forks, Kephart, Kanati Fork, places like that, Soco Creeks, all your water up Big Cove, which is Raven Fork, Straight Fork. All of that has flowed into this particular area, and this gauge is down around Old Highway 19 as you drive outside Cherokee on your way into Bryson City. So as we scroll down a little bit more, you see that once again, that particular chart that gives you some basic information in there. The average should be around that, in that 400 type in there, and you can see the gauge height. You can really see how it spiked when we got that rain that came through here the other night. You see how it spiked. And now I caution you that this time of year the water does not drop as fast as it would, July 12th, because we don't have vegetation sucking up the groundwater, and you don't have the evaporation going on because it's not as hot. So you can see that curve. They talk about flatten the curve with COVID. But when you start to flatten the curve with the water, it takes quite a bit longer this time of year as it would in the spring or summer, of course. Here, dissolved oxygen, you can see how that is. The colder the water is, the more oxygen is actually in the water, which is healthier for the trout. Then you can also see here turbidity. And with the turbidity, once again, you can see the day that it rained, that we got over an inch. You see how the water got discolored, and you can see how it's really cleared up. So this particular graph here has a lot of information on it, and understand that the reason why all this stuff is not on all the sites is because it takes funding to have these particular sensors in these particular stream gauges where they select this, or they, I don't say select, but they monitor this information. So the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians provide some funding for this particular station here, that's why there's quite a bit more parameters for this and more information. It's all good information, okay? One of the things that you'll notice that I put on our information for us too is some temperature gauges for the national park. So I look at Cataloochee Creek, which is in Haywood County, and I come up here to the left and I click on that. On this particular gauge, it gives me a chance to select the water temperature, and by doing so, I do that and I go hit go. And then it's going to pull up that information right here, and you can see how that water has been a sinusoidal wave right here, of course, and that's all relative to your air temperature. As you can see right here, we're 41, a little over 41. It's going to get down in the low 20s tonight, so I'll look for that temperature to drop back down around 38, just based upon just being born and raised here. Once again, you can kind of see how when the rain spiked up, you can see how it's fallen. You can kind of see it's not falling real rapidly. It rises rapidly, and this time of year it doesn't fall as fast. Once again, a lot of good information here. You know, we should be sub 100 CFS this time of year. That is a wadeable flow up there in the Cataloochee Valley. But you can see how high that gauge went up here too. So it was around 2.5 feet. It spiked up over 3 feet, and it's all the way back down right there, okay? So you can see that information. It's out there. This is what we look at to kind of make us look smarter than we actually are. The Nantahala River at Hewitt, this is the section that they are actually paddling in that lower Nantahala area. There is not a gauge on the upper, of course, but this is your lower Nantahala Hewitt right here. But certainly understand this is your gauge height, and this is your CFS, and this is like your mean median over here to the far right-hand side here on that. So depending, let's say that you're living in Transylvania County and you want to look at something over here, you get into the upper French Broad area. You've got the French Broad River at Rosman information here. You got some Davidson River information. Haywood County, you got the West Fork of the Pigeon. This is the one we look at. This is the one above Lake Logan there. That's a fishable flow, of course, there as well. Some of these have temperature gauges. Not all of them do. But the ones that do, it's really good to know that water temperature before you head out. So you can see all the way down through the state of North Carolina. And you can use this information nationwide because there's these gauging stations all over the United States. So potentially if you're in Colorado, you can pull up, stream flow data for Colorado for the particular watershed. Potentially you could have that information there as well. The other part of the equation that people ask about, and I think this is the most confusing, is that what is Duke Energy doing and how does that affect the water that I'm going to be fishing? So all I do is I come up here to my plus tab and I type in Duke Energy flow release schedule and just click on that, and you can see it pulls up for me. I'm going to come here to this particular page, and basically instead of typing in duke-energy.com /communities and /lakes, just type in flow release schedule, and it's going to come to this particular page here. You see the little kid here kayaking. Looks like he's having a good time out there, but underneath it there's some information we need to be made aware of. The one that we get asked a lot, are they releasing water? So we come over here and we click the flow release link, and when that opens up, you notice here immediately it gives us the Catawba area. We want to come to this drop down menu and select Nantahala Tuckasegee area. Here's the meat and potatoes of this whole thing here, folks. We have an East Fork and a West Fork. I want to be clear with you, and it's confusing. The water, when it flows through Webster, Cullowhee, Webster, all the way down to Bryson City, that's not a fork no more. That's just your Tuckasegee River. The West Fork is coming out of Lake Glenville, and your East Fork would be comprised of like Bear Lake, Wolf Lake, Cedar Cliff Lake, Tennessee Lake, Balsam Lake. They actually meet up there around up in the Tuckasegee community area. That's where the East and the West converge. So everything downstream north of there, actually, because the Tuckasegee is a northerly flowing body of water, it's not a fork no more. It's just the Tuckasegee River. So here you see it gives you a 3-day window of what potentially they could be doing. So today for the 7th, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and it's showing on the 9th no flow release. Now, this can change without prior notice or warning, and that decision is made in Charlotte, North Carolina. Determining factors would be the amount of rain we've got, work and maintenance and upgrades that could be going on at any of the dams or the lakes or shoreline management, a flood control as well, and the need for power. As we get into wintertime, as more people are heating their homes and stuff, power demand increases, of course. And for those Clark Griswolds of the world, we know what happened when you decorate your home. The nuclear plant goes offline and you just lose all the power. So you need this. The West Fork would be Lake Glenville. This would be coming down Highway 107. So if you left Sylvan, you drove south up toward Cashiers, you go right past this up here. Beautiful lake too. They're showing 5 a.m. to midnight basically for the next 3 days. Once again, subject to change. And then the Nantahala, as I mentioned earlier, this is the lower section. You can see their flow schedule here. I will caution you that they could have a no flow release here. That does not necessarily mean that no water is dumping through. If they're not generating power, they don't put that there. So be sure to pay attention to what's happening on your stream gauge as well as this particular site here too. Kind of works hand in hand. So you kind of see that. One of the things I want to point out to you too is where there's a lot of information. It's called Current Lake Levels webpage. If you click on this here, it's going to take you to the current lake levels, and this is going to be all of these lakes here in North Carolina that Duke Energy has something to do with. So we're going to select the Tuckasegee Nantahala area, or my bad, it says Nantahala/Tuckasegee area. I guess it's alphabetical order. And you're going to see a graph here with a lot of information on it. Tennessee, you see all the lakes that's in that particular area right here. So you see your actual lake height, your target, minimum, maximum. We're definitely not in the drought stage, so you see the ND right there. Range, and then date, lake message updated. This is really important. So let's start here with the actual. So if we come over here, we see at Cedar Cliff is currently at 63.6 feet. The target normally would be 98, the minimum would be 96, and a maximum at 100. I know that there's some work going on, and I'm going to get into detail with you with that here in just a moment. If we look at Lake Glenville, it's at 86.8. Target is 90 with a minimum of 85. But if we go to the far right-hand side, we see that they've posted a message on November the 4th at 10:54 a.m. So click on that message, and then you see a area here with a red alert that comes up. This is where we look at to see if they're going to be doing any bypasses, things like that that could affect the water flow negatively or positively for us here. But if you can see here real quick in the first two sentences, basically starting on the 9th, Glenville will be lowered to perform maintenance on the spillway gates. They wanted to get the lake down 12 to 15 feet by November 20th. I knew that didn't happen based upon the tropical systems there. But it tells you that's basically a 3-week lake drawdown. Boat ramps will remain in service. The drawdown and the time required to refill the lake will depend on weather conditions and river inflows, yada, yada, yada. But there's a lot of good information here that you need to be made aware of. So when you're diving into information to make a decision on what you're going to do, be sure to visit this area, especially if you've had a lot of rain. If we scroll down, there's a nice little graph here, blue for water, of course, but you can see where it was here at this point, it was 87.6, and we come over here now, it's at 85. So you can kind of see what's happening with that water there as well. Now, here's the crazy thing about this. If you go back, it takes you back to the Catawba, so you have to hit that drop-down link once again. Nantahala, a real popular area to fish. If we click over here right fast, it's going to tell us that the lake will be managed below 78 feet through the remainder of the year. A spillway gate is open at the dam and will spill when lake levels are above 81 feet. So knowing that if the lake gets above 81 feet, water's just going to start coming over. But as of right now, we're not at that particular point. And if we got rain coming in, this may be something you want to take a look at. So this is the area where we go to kind of look and see what's happening on the lakes. And this is where I find all that little information that you folks are asking me about on the telephone, or any of us here. That's kind of how we educate ourselves to know what's going on. Now, some of you folks may or may not know this, but Duke Energy has been doing some upgrades and stuff up here for the relicensing agreement that is required by the federal government. And back at our homepage here for Duke's Lake and Recreation, if we scroll down to the bottom here, I want to look at this permits and shoreline activities. I'm going to hit that link here. And then I want to look at what's going on here in the Nantahala area here. So we're going to click that. And you see this nice pretty picture right here. Over here, if you look at your shoreline management plans, it gives a lot of information on what's going on with that. But let's look over here to underneath the related links. Let's look at fall 2019 Cedar Cliff Lake drawdown. So I'm going to click that tab, and it's going to bring us to another screen here that you can print if you want to. But this is important because this is a 2-year project. Basically, it tells you that the drawdown at Cedar Cliff Lake is planned starting in early September 2019, and that the lake would be lowered approximately 40 feet below full pond to perform required maintenance at Cedar Cliff Dam, and that the construction is estimated to take approximately 24 months. Well, we know how that works out sometimes, right? So lake residents are being provided advance notice to allow as such time for possible to prepare for the drawdown. This has been a sore subject for a lot of people there. And once again, remind you that we are open and we got some folks in here doing business. Yeah, we like it. That's what we need. But this is something you need to be made aware of. You can see right here that this is going to take about 24 months. The boat ramps at Cedar Cliff are unusable here. So you can see that we're basically a year into this project, and we've had a lot of rain. I don't really know where they're at in the status of completing this, but they are basically, they're modifying the existing auxiliary spillway channel. They've got to install a new gate system and install an 8.5-foot concrete wall along the crest of the dam. I don't know where they're at on that. I don't know. I'm not there on the job. I can't tell you that. So this is part of what we're going to have to deal with for another 12 months potentially, based upon what's going on here with the rain and things like this. This here is part of what the relicensing agreement was, and this is some things that the federal government requires out of the power company. And as they do these things, it's for the safety of folks downstream, to make sure that, we don't have an issue with the dams and things like that. It's definitely safety issues, and we do have to kind of just deal with it and live with it. But these are things that will affect that flow, and you need to be made aware of. They don't want you to walk in the door and you drive 3 hours to fish it, and that's the only place you want to fish and it not be fishable. These are some things that are affecting that. So hopefully you understand this. And they do make this information available. You just have to go readily find it. That's the thing. It's there. And that's how we look like geniuses, even though I'm not a genius. My wife would tell you that. So I think a lot of our significant others might tell us that. I got asked one day, a cubic feet per second. 1 cubic feet per second equals 448.83 gallons per minute. That's a lot of flow. So when we say exercise caution out there, water is powerful, it's dangerous, just be made aware of that. Make a very, very smart decision. Don't make an emotional decision on whether you want to hop in the water or not. With in doubt, back out. There's other places to fish other than the Tuckasegee that are close by here in Jackson County, and even some delayed harvest that's not necessarily in Jackson that are close by that you should check out and fish. That's basically controlled by Mother Nature. So I hope this helps you folks here quite a bit. Just to recap, Duke Energy flow release schedule, which gets you to this particular website. And then, of course, the NC Streamflow data, which will get you to this particular site. On our website, tuckflyshop.com, we have a hyperlink tab as well, which will get you to that. Also, I'm going to type that in here right quick. Pops right up. A lot of good information on here anyway that you should be made aware of. But let's see here. We got our online store, our blog, tutorials, book a trip, and of course our new travel tab. So you need to be made aware of that here. But let's go over here to, let's see here. Did that travel? Up, string flow and releases. There it is. I having a blonde moment. I'm not blonde. But you can see right here, Streamflow, CFS, and release schedule. You can come here, click this, and it'll take you to that particular site. And we've basically put a little bit of information here for you as well. The one thing, and I hesitated to do this, and my apologies, is let me go back here to the flow for the Tuckasegee. The Tuckasegee in Cullowhee and Bryson City. Bryson City will always be greater than up here. But with that being said, the Tuckasegee delayed harvest stretch in Bryson City is quite a bit wider. So 1,720 is not the same as 1,720 in Cullowhee. At 1,720, there's some places you can fish down there in the Bryson City area that you can wade and fish, okay? If we're at 741 in Bryson City, you're like, where's all the water? But it's relative to where you're at based upon the width of the water you're fishing, okay? As the water spreads out. It's the same way up here at the West Fork of the Pigeon. That's a really, really wide watershed in certain places. So a 300 flow in some places would be fishable, where in other places it would not be. So it's all relative to the fishery and the stream bed that you're in at the time. So I want to point that out to you there. And I just kind of got, seeing the Bryson City, that kind of made me think about that there right quick. And since we're in a website, here you can hit our home. You can get into our new travel tab right here. It talks about our Montana trip. If you're looking to get out west and do some fishing, be sure you check that out as well. Those trips are filling up there quite quickly. So anyway, there's our website, tuckflyshop.com. You can link that way to it, or you can do the other two ways. So hopefully that helped you folks there. I know that was a little bit longer video than normal, but I feel like it's one that's important. And hopefully at the end of the day, this makes you have a little bit better understanding. If you still have questions, just give us a call, 1-828-488-3333, or stop by the shops. 3 Depot Street, Bryson City. We're right across from the train depot. We have a real big brown trout out front. Don't be confused by the other shop down there. We are the oldest fly shop in Bryson City. Your Sims and Orvis and all those good dealers like that. That's us, Scott, and everything. And then, of course, here in Silva, 530 West Main Street, Silva, 28779. The phone number, you may think you're calling Bryson City. If the phone is busy, it'll ring to Silva or vice versa. I know that confuses some people sometimes, but we can help you one and the same at either location. Follow us on Facebook, certainly on Instagram. And be sure to listen to our podcast, which is the Tuckcast with a Splash of Bourbon. You can find that on all the major podcasting platforms out there. And, there's some cool information right there. You're seeing it. So depending on when this video goes live, that's pretty cool to check out. So just hit us up. We're here for you. We appreciate you folks. If it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. So with that, I think we're all done. You have a question, hit us up, info@tuckflyshop.com, or give me a call. This is Big Mess. You folks take care. I hope y'all catch a lot of fish. This is all Big Mess approved, of course. Y'all take care. All right.
Well, that was the first time we've done a pre-recorded thing on the podcast. So hopefully all that comes through right, because I really don't want to have to redo it all.
That's right. Absolutely. Thanks for sticking with us. And the reason why we did that was just because the way we had to do this podcast today during working hours. And I think you folks realize we are a functioning fly shop. We do a lot of this stuff after hours, which kind of bites into our family time. And our family sacrifice that, and we're very fortunate for that. But it is important. We enjoy doing it. Your folks' feedback is huge. So that video will be going up live here pretty soon. So obviously when this goes live, if you're driving in your car, we do put the podcast video up on YouTube, so you can watch this and then get that video. But we will have a separate video with that information specifically.
We'll put it up on YouTube too,
and YouTube as well,
because it is great info, and it's easier to watch the screen and see where you're going, where you're clicking, all that stuff, and then you can get on that Duke site and go to town and learn a lot of stuff.
Yes,
so
absolutely, a lot of information, a lot of the questions that we get asked on a daily basis. there, and hopefully that will give you a better understanding. And often people ask, hey, you've got inside information. How do you get that inside information? They're like, we ain't got no insider information. It's just the facts that we just kind of know a few other places to look if there's a question. So that's kind of how we do that. And just want to leave you with that there this evening is that information is there. Especially, I think that's real important about that segment is the project that they're doing at Cedar Cliff Lake. We tried to explain that to people. It's there in black and white. We're not making that up. It's there. We get as much frustrated as you do if you drive here to fish from somewhere. We understand. We have trips booked too.
Yeah.
And so we deal with it as well. So we're no different than you are. We're not immune to it. So hopefully that will help you have a better understanding. I'm glad to close out the Candy Bar Shootout, the first Candy Bar Shootout.
You're sugared out.
I'm sugared out. Especially, some of those at the first rounds, man, that was a lot of candy we tasted. I'm sugared out. It was fun.
And now you're going home and your wife's baking.
She said she was going to be baking, and she baked some snickerdoodles the other evening, and they were pretty tasty. So, it's kind of, you think about, football going on and, in December and, baked goods happening in the kitchen. It just kind of, it's a hand in hand, right?
It works.
It works, man. It works. So that's cool, man. And anything else there, Bobby, before we kind of close this thing out?
No, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and close this thing out, folks. We certainly appreciate you as always, and we'll catch you on the next one. Folks, that wraps up another exciting and informative episode of the Tuckcast with a Splash of Bourbon presented by Tuckasegee Fly Shop. Remember, Tuckasegee Fly Shops has locations in Bryson City and Sylvan, North Carolina. Be sure to follow the crew on Facebook at Tuckasegee Fly Shop, Instagram at Tuck Fly Shop, and YouTube at Tuckasegee Fly Shop for the latest information and instructional videos. Be sure to visit tuckflyshop.com for all things fly fishing in Western North Carolina and beyond. Remember, the online store is always open. If you have a question or comment, feel free to send them at info@tuckflyshop.com or just give us a call, 1-828-488-3333. For Coach Dell Diesel Collins, Bobby, the Bearded Wonder Bennett, I'm Shannon Big Mess Messer. You folks take care, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Catch a few fish out there, won't you?